Yo, how is it going, everyone? I never normally make videos like this, but I start to realize, how much I can relate to some of you guys and the power that I have as a sort of a YouTuber. I'm not an egotistical person, but people say and people tell me that they look up to me, and when I can relate to a lot of people's situations, through my past and through the messages that I receive, I feel it's like my duty to help people and reach out to people. So this is what this video is. So I'm gonna just firstly say that, depression, it's a serious thing, okay? If you want to joke about depression or anything like that, just maybe if you watch this, you will stop doing that, which is good. But my main reason for making this video is I want to reach out to people. I've received a lot of messages recently, such as the ones you're seeing on the screen right now. And at first, sort of growing as a YouTuber, I did sort of get a few of these messages every now and then, but they're a lot more frequent now. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are in this situation. It's a very horrible situation. A lot of people will get depressed. Going through some form of depression is not an uncommon thing. And like I said a minute ago, I've been through depression. And the biggest thing that I want to say before we even get into this is that, you're not alone. Only a few of you speak up to me about this. And I know there's probably a very large number of people that don't speak up to me about this. So this is me reaching out to you saying that, I get you. I've been through all of this before in my past. I understand. I get you. You're not alone. And I didn't really fully think about making this video until the other day when actually a close friend of mine messaged me. And when a close friend speaks up to me about this, that's when I'm like, you know what? I want to reach out to you guys because I just feel like it's the right thing to do. So for those of you who haven't been through depression or don't really understand or know, or even those that make fun of it, I'd rather not just straight up bash you, but I'd rather educate you. So depression is serious. It's a very serious thing, okay? Depression can come from all sorts of things. It's classed as a mental health issue. And that can be triggered from, people, someone close to you dying, losing a friend, losing a family member, failing school, not having a motive, relationship problems, breakups, you name it, things can set depression off. However, there are also a little bit more severe cases where, it is genuinely a mental illness. But the worst thing about depression is that sometimes you don't even know you have it. For me, personally, it was an actual health issue that I had. When you have depression, you will put up like a mask. So depression will sort of mentally idolize isolation. Your brain will tell you, if you're in a depressed state, your brain will tell you, it wants you to be alone, basically. It doesn't want you to socialize. It doesn't want you to sort of get on with life. It just wants you to be alone. It messes with your emotions. It makes you sad, it makes you upset, it makes you miserable. It causes sleeping problems. And if you think about it, you're picking a battle with your brain. Your brain owns you, it controls you. You're picking a battle with your brain. It's hard. It's a very hard thing, okay? But as I said, the most important first thing you guys need to realize if you are going through this is that you're not alone. There are a lot of people in the same situation as you. I've been in that situation. I understand. But depression will eat you up. And it can get to the point where, and in my case it did, you can get in such a deep hole that, it sort of just leaves you with two options. One, are you going to talk to someone about it? Are you going to try and get help? Or two, and I feel like I want to reach out and say, that you should talk to someone. And that's where I'm going to talk about my story. So this was back when I just started college. I'm being very open with you guys right now. I've very briefly shared this story before in a Draw My Life that I did. But, this is delicate stuff. So I hope that you can appreciate this, and hopefully this gives you some form of motive to, if you're in that deep situation, to talk to someone. Either tell your family, tell a friend, seek some help. So my story, this was the first year of college for me. Okay, I start to develop a very, very sort of an annoying, in my eyes, unnecessary skin problem, mainly around my face. It was basically like acne. So I was a very hygienic person, which is why it upset me so much. My skin was getting worse and worse day by day. I had very, very bad skin. and it was progressively getting worse and worse. And the problem for me that put me into this state of depression is that I tried, I think, 4 different courses of antibiotics, which are meant to help. The normal person back then, when you're growing up, going through puberty, if you get bad skin, you'll get given antibiotics. Usually it goes. You don't really need to have it again. For me and people similar in my situation, they would come back after antibiotics, but worse, and then it would keep on getting worse and worse and worse, to the point where I was just like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go to college. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I never had a smile on my face. I was literally at rock bottom. It developed anxiety issues for me, and growing up, already having anxiety disorders throughout secondary school, it was not good. It was really not good. I was in a very, very bad state. And I think this is where that social mask comes into place. So for me, that this mask that I would put up was, if I was to go into college, I'd have to pretend to be happy. I'd have to pretend to be enjoying my life when really I wasn't. I'd have to pretend that when I'm talking to someone, people aren't judging me. And that was a very big problem for me. That caused a lot of problems. So my attendance at college was so bad that I was under 70 to 60% at some point. So that's just over half of my lessons I was attending. But the good thing about this day and age is that we have the internet. What I personally found that helped me was to, Google my situation, and I found that there were others in my situation as well. That's when I realized that I wasn't alone, and hearing other people's stories around it and them seeking help, what they've done, and that was a motive for me to try and seek help about it. So the first thing I did was I told my mum. I came clean with my mum. I was like, I'm pretty sure I broke down to her a number of times throughout the year, saying like, I just didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't want to go outside. I didn't want to leave my room. I'd wake up, I'd look in the mirror, and I'd just feel dead. I'd feel awful. I just didn't want to do anything. And I told her about this drug that people have been through that fixes what was causing my issue, which is very, very sort of dark, dangerous drug. That it is like a 99% cure for it. However, it can have very severe side effects. But at this point, I was at so rock bottom. I said to my mum, and she supported me throughout this. And we sort of went through it together. I ended up going on this drug, and I remember speaking to the doctor about it, and he said, your skin will get better over time. However, if you want it gone now, that you will need to take this. And I said to my mum, I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. And she stuck by me. She supported me. So I went on this drug, and the doctor said to me, it takes 6 months. And, a couple of the first months will genuinely be like the worst months of your life. And you'll need a lot of support from your family, from friends. You'll need to talk to the college about it. You need to make sure it's okay to stay off when you're not feeling right, and all of this sort of stuff. It was very serious. Went through it. Luckily, everything went okay. However, some of the side effects from this drug, let alone depression itself, was sort of, suicidal thoughts and not very nice stuff. However, for me, this is where hopefully I can inspire you. This was back when I looked up to YouTubers a lot. So, and this is where I see my story helping you guys potentially. I looked up to other YouTubers a lot. I used to watch a lot of YouTube. And just like these guys are saying to me right now, I was thinking the same about other YouTubers. They helped me out. They helped me through dark times. They put a smile on my face when it felt like it was impossible for me to smile. So what did I do? I made a YouTube channel. And throughout this sort of 6-month period of being on this drug, I just made YouTube videos. I played a game back then called RuneScape, and I just made YouTube videos as much as I possibly could. It took up all of my spare time. It's all I wanted to do. I had this sort of motive. I think there's 2 key things of getting out of depression. One is to understand you're not alone, talk to people, have support. They will support you. Regardless of what you think, they will support you, and to not be afraid about it. If your parents or people, question things that you do, or say that you're lazy, or, have a go at you for skipping class or something, they're not going to understand unless you really tell them the real problem that's causing that. And number 2 is to have a motive for something that it takes control of your brain. Your brain's going to stop telling you to feel shit, basically, if you have a motive and focus on that. Your brain will focus on that motive more than being depressed. And that's what got me out of it. I was so motivated with YouTube and stuff that honestly, without it, I don't really know where I'd be. If I never played that game back then and I never made those videos and started my own channel, I don't really know where I'd be, okay? And it wasn't even to the point where becoming successful on YouTube cured it. It wasn't, because that channel, because I stopped posting videos at 6,000 subscribers back then, and I then went on to a different career for 2 years. So, it's not even that I made it on YouTube, it's the fact that I had that motive, and I was so dedicated towards dedicating my brain, my focus on something, that it brought me out of it. I did take that 2-year break, but then I came back to that one thing that I was originally so motivated for. But it doesn't have to be YouTube, it can be anything. Find something that you enjoy doing and just spend time at it. Get yourself motivated. But that's my story. Hopefully this video has either educated you if you don't really know that much about depression, because it's very hard for people to relate. And that's when I can confidently say to people that contact me about this is, I get you, I understand you. But hopefully this has been of some help to people. If you are in a dark situation, just realize you're not alone. Please go and talk to someone, whether it be your mum, dad, brother, sister, friend. I can pretty much assure you that they are only going to give you support and help. But nonetheless, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you leave the video a like, and I shall see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and roll the outro.
Rolling with elephants. Rolling.